There was an article from the New York Times a few days ago titled, "Voting for Mamdani Taught Me Why Trump Won." And this is something I've talked about a lot. I've spent a lot of time thinking about. And I want to break down a little bit today because Zohran Mamdani and Donald Trump, and I'd say someone like Barack Obama, those three individuals have a lot in common, actually, in terms of the feelings that they invoke in people. And it's something that Democrats need to learn for their success moving forward. Before I get into all this, if you don't know who I am, my name is Chris Mowry. I'm 23 years old. I scream on the internet about politics. I posted my first TikTok video about how much I hated Donald Trump in October of 2022 and somehow found myself in this world. If you've been watching this channel for a while or you're here from the Adam Mockler channel, hello. Obviously, things look a little bit different here. Most of my videos are going to come from this studio from now on, and I'm spending a lot of time trying to bring the best content I can to you guys. And if you appreciate that and you like this style of video from me, let me know in the comments down below. Hit like on this video. This is going to be, again, a little bit of a different type of video than I normally post, but you can let me know what you think. I think when most people hear that Zohran Mamdani is similar to Donald Trump, it's like, whoa, what the hell are you talking about? But I scream about this all the time. I understand fundamentally why people voted for Donald Trump. It makes sense to me. In my head. You know, some people are racist and hateful. Some people don't want to see a black woman as president. And I think that there's more of those people than most people realize. Most Democrats will even be willing to admit. But there's also a lot of people who have just been fucked over, if I may, excuse my language, by the American government. Imagine getting sent to Iraq, coming back, all your friends are dead, and the US government says there's no WMDs. Sorry. And you go, wow, okay. And then you go on, you're like, I'm going to live the American dream. And so you buy a house, you get an adjustable rate mortgage from a banker making a bunch of money, living off yachts. And you're like, this is it. And then the housing market collapses and you figure out that that banker screwed you over. You lost your house. You filed for bankruptcy. And so you look at the American government and you say, is that guy going to face any repercussions? And they say, not really. And obviously there's a lot of nuance here, but this is how most people feel. And so you go on and on and on. And you spent so many decades with the American government not listening to a large swath of people or people not feeling listened to. And then you get to somebody like Donald Trump who says, I'm not them and I'm not them. I will destroy this system for you. Now, obviously, he's a liar. He lies more outrageously than anyone in, I'd argue, American history, possibly ever. And that's not me being hyperbolic. He lies every single time he speaks. He's, outrageously hateful, says horrible things, and he's not doing anything good for this country. But when people hear that, I always argue that there was one moment, the moment that won Donald Trump the election, was him on the Republican debate stage when people started booing him. And he said,
parking lot for his casinos is not a public use. And in Florida, based on what we did, we made that impossible. It is part of our Constitution. That's the better approach. That is the conservative approach.
Mr. Trump, take 30 seconds.
Let me just, he wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times you'll have, and it doesn't work very well with
How tough is it to take property from an elderly woman?
Let me talk. Quiet.
How tough is it?
A lot of times, that's all of his donors and special interests out there. So, that's what it is. And by the way, let me just tell you, we needed tickets. You can't get them. You know who has the tickets I'm talking about to the television audience? Donors, special interest, the people that are putting up the money. So it is. The RNC told us we have all donors in the audience, and the reason they're not loving me, the reason they're not loving me is I don't want their money. I'm going to do the right thing for the American public. I don't want their money. I don't need their money. And I'm the only one up here that can say that.
Because it didn't matter if it was true or false. All of those people said, finally, somebody. And they were willing to overlook all of his lies, all of the garbage, all of the corruption. They're still willing to overlook him, enriching himself with the presidency, people being thrown in prisons, ICE deporting people without due process. They're willing to overlook all of that. This is similar to Zohran Mamdani in terms of the feelings that are invoked. He's telling New Yorkers, and understandably so, you can't afford anything. Nobody can afford anything. The city is unlivable, and the same people who for so long have been saying they're going to fix it haven't, and I'm going to do something about it. That's a similar feeling. Obviously, he's a much different person. Don't get me wrong. I like Zohran Mamdani. The idea being that he's saying, look, I'm bringing change here. I'm bringing hope. These people have screwed you over. Healthcare is way too expensive because it is. New York City is unaffordable. It's unlivable. Your public transportation, you deserve to be invested in. And it's similar, again, with Barack Obama. I love Barack Obama. I like Barack Obama a lot. But again, somebody's saying, like, we can be different. We can bring change and hope. And until Democrats understand this fundamentally, not much is going to change. And so moving toward 2026 and 2028, you need a candidate who brings, I will always argue, I will continue to argue, a massive amount of authenticity. We spend too much time DC politics trying to pull every single issue. Give somebody who is authentic and cares about what they talk about. Bring somebody who says, I want to suck money out of Washington. Because you know what most people are upset about? They're upset about the fact that people, they view all of Washington as all of these people getting super rich and they don't care about me. That's how they view everybody. Whether it's true or false, it doesn't matter. I like Joe Biden a lot. I like Kamala Harris a lot. I like Barack Obama a lot. I like what has been seen as establishment people. I don't think that they don't care. I do think they care. I think Joe Biden cares a lot about people. But it's not really about how I feel. Most people view this Washington bubble as all just garbage, getting rich off the American people, Democrats and Republicans alike. And so you need a candidate in 2026 that can evoke, or 2028, excuse me, that can invoke these same emotions, hope, change. I'm running to suck money out of Washington because we don't need any more money in our politics. It's breaking our system. Somebody who's saying, I am authentically me. And I'd say lastly, as somebody who's very passionate about democracy, the Constitution, January 6th is one of my most passionate subjects. I could timestamp it right now off the top of my head. I've read so much about it. Part of the thing that Democrats need to understand in everything I just said is that specifically for my generation, when I talk to people my age and say democracy is at stake, the Constitution is being ripped apart, in their head, they're going, I don't care. This system has never worked for me anyway. And that's not what they should be saying, but it makes sense for my generation. I was born in 2002. I was born after 9/11, ushered into a war on terror that I obviously never understood. In 2008, I was 6. I watched everybody, lose their homes. Barack Obama got elected. We're still in a war. Political divisions exploding. I watch another mini recession. Donald Trump gets elected. I lose my senior year of high school due to COVID. I watched myself graduate on the TV. I watched January 6th and now I'm here. I've never seen America at peace. Most people have told me my whole life that, wow, America's in a bad place or, we're doing something wrong. Donald Trump is insane with no answers in sight. Most people have told me, your generation's never going to be able to afford a home. And so most people who are my age, most people who look like me when we're trying to figure out the young white male demographic, we talk about all these issues. They feel like the system has been broken for so long, so they don't care about it. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below. Again, this was a different style video for me, so let me know what you think. If you're not subscribed already, it would mean a lot. You guys are the best. I hope you have a great rest of your week into the weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.